Hi, I'm Geneva Crowley. Thank you so much for having me. So let's go through those interview questions. My first question, have you ever given feedback on someone else's designs before? And through Career Foundry and other design networks that I found on my own via Meetup and Slack, I have given feedback to other designers, namely on their prototypes and their portfolios. And first, I love giving people compliments on their work. I think that's very important so people know what they're doing right. And then I've helped people understand the more technical issues and how to connect their prototype in Figma and how to make layouts a bit more usable and readable. And have I ever received feedback on my own? And I love getting feedback. I love learning how I can improve a project. And so through these same networks that I've discussed, I have received feedback, and it's been fairly invaluable in learning how I can improve my projects visually. And namely, I do remember I was having a lot of issues with my first prototype and the sign up page, and a few people helped me learn how to make the spacing a little bit more readable and usable. How would your teammates describe you professionally? So my teammates, my current professional teammates, have told me in person that I'm a very hopeful person, and I do pride myself on being able to give very direct and detailed feedback and learning a new process. Tell me about a difficult project where you overcame a challenge. So it wasn't a design project, but my roommate is currently going back to school and asked me to help with her homework. And so this brought up two problems. One, do I still know algebra? And two, how do I relay this information to my roommate? And so after reviewing her subject material and working the problem on my own, I found the answer to her solution. And so I got my first problem done. And the second one was relaying that info. And after drawing out to my roommate how these functions work, we were able to eventually navigate to where she can work these problems on her own. But it was a bit of a process. I think things that helped us was learning how to describe how these functions work visually and making connections to real life experiences. And so I think it's just really interesting how people learn. And if you're learning something new or relearning something, that usually it takes those iterations to understand. And I love how our brains are just continuously making those connections. So what's a question that I can ask you? And my questions are, how do you describe your current company culture, and where do you see it to be? Also, are there any reservations from you hiring me as your UX designer? Thank you so much for having me.